So your machine's being utilized and running on your job site. There's things you want to check daily just to make sure it's running at optimal conditions and also performing as it should. So going around, the first thing you always want to check is your DEF fluid. You can check that here on the display. As the display loads up, you'll see that it's at 99%, 98%. So that tells you how full your DEF tank is. If it gets down below 20%, you always want to go through and refill your DEF tank using the appropriate DEF fuel for this machine. The second thing you want to check is, again, your oil levels. You always want to check your oil levels and top it off as needed. So let's walk around the machine and go through a couple more checkpoints. So going into your DEF, we'll go right back here. This is where you fill up your DEF fluid. The way to pop this cap off is you pop this little tab out and then rotate it counterclockwise, quarter turn, then it releases. And then once it's filled, you put it back in. Same process, just reverse process. Get it in, snap the lock pin in place. That way it keeps it secured. Going through, you have air manifold tanks on the unit. So this is an air manifold tank here, and then there's one inside of the bag house as well. So you want to drain these daily just to make sure the accumulated moisture is drained out and it doesn't get into your pneumatic systems. You simply open the ball valve until the excess moisture is released, and then you close it right back up. Another thing you want to check here too is your fuel level. Like I said, you always want to make sure you have a full tank of fuel before you start the next shift of work. That way you don't run it out of fuel. You can check your gauge right here, fill it up right here, and then also you'll notice there's a drain valve here as well for that second manifold tank we spoke about earlier. It's same process. You're just going to open the drain valve, drain the excess moisture out, and then once all the moisture is released and out of there, you can just close it right back up and keep on going. So we drain the moisture out of the manifold tank in the bag house. Another thing we want to check as well, we want to do this daily, is down here on this dump door, you'll see how it hinges. You always want to make sure that it hinges freely, but also that there's no wear holes inside the chute or cone itself. Sometimes that can occasionally happen when if you're using a super sack and the edges of the super sack get caught up in the vacuum door, it'll get caught and let little air pockets go through and wear holes in the wear plates and then also your dump doors. You just want to make sure there's no holes in anything mostly. So this is a removable wear plate. It's designed to wear out over use, and it also protects the rest of the items inside this tank here. So if you notice like any little holes developing here, please contact your closest service center or your rental manager and we'll get that resolved for you. Also going around, this is an abrasive wear elbow. So a common place where you'll see a hole is right where this additional heavy duty strap is at. And it's there just for that reason, because as the material goes in and goes over, as it takes that bend, it's always going to rush and go through this edge right here. This is going to wear out, be the first thing to wear out as far as this elbow, and you always want to make sure that you have no holes in this as well.